If you can believe it, we've got a new set on the horizon. Lost Caverns of Ixalan is coming kind of soonish, actually, in November. So, a little over a month. And we've seen a great standard format at Worlds, obviously, and a fun draft format in Wilds of Eldraine. But time to move on. We got some stuff to look at, so let's check it all out. And of course, make sure you like, comment, subscribe, support the channel. Free to do, helps out a ton. Thanks so much. Cavern of Souls. Played a lot of Cavern of Souls in my life, mostly naming Goblin, but it's important to note this card's going to be legal in Standard once again. And Cavern of Souls, while obviously known as a tribal land in many of the larger formats for humans or goblins or whatever else, it was played a lot in Standard actually, not for tribal reasons, but just for the uncounterable reasons. Back when Primeval Titan was legal in Standard and the Valakut decks were legal, they would just play Cavern of Souls, so you couldn't counter for Titan. As such, Cavern of Souls on Phyrexian for Atraxa scares me a lot in Standard. So this is a pretty big deal. Obviously, the cards are now new to Pioneer as well, new to Historic too, I guess. Just pretty exciting. Get to see it in a few new formats, and then in Standard it's gonna be a big deal also. It's back. Pretty cool art too. What the hell is a map token? Kellen, Daring Traveler, and not a planeswalker, but now on a different plane. There's like omen paths or something, and I don't know how the story works exactly, but he's here. Side note, which was a TV show, thanks so much. 2 mana for a 2/3. Whenever a Daring Traveler attacks, you have a top card of your library. If it's a creature card mana value 3 or less, put it in your hand, otherwise put it in your graveyard. Pretty good for a 2-drop, honestly. Then it has the Adventure Journey On, which makes X map tokens, where X is 1 plus the number of opponents who control an artifact. What the hell's a map token? I don't know. That must be the worst pirate I've ever heard of. Breaches. Eager Pillager is not the worst pirate we've ever heard of. 2 mana for a 3/3 legendary goblin pirate, so good pedigree there, obviously. Says whenever a pirate you control attacks, choose one that hasn't been chosen in this turn. So up to 3 triggers on this card. Make a treasure, creature can't block, and then exile top card of your library may play it this turn. Those are all really good abilities. And as we've seen from Magda, Brazen Outlaw, being able to make a treasure on attacks is very powerful. So if you were to go, 1-drop pirate, 2-drop pirate, 3-drop breaches, attack with both, get 2 triggers, make a treasure, something can't block. That's just really good. It scales up well from there. Triggers off itself also, and being a 3/3 first strike for 3 is also pretty solid. This card's really good. Pretty exciting new goblin card. Obviously, it's like a pirate card that happens to be a goblin, but still super sweet. Galta, Stampede Tyrant.
It's a dinosaur.
8 mana for a 12/12 trample. Now, unlike old Galta, it does not have any cost reduction effect, so that was the big part of the original Galta. This one, you gotta just do it for 8 mana, which is a lot, obviously. And then it says, when it enters the battlefield, put any number of creature cards from your hand onto the battlefield. So this card feels like it's tailor-made for Commander, obviously. Just a big creature, puts a bunch of big creatures in play. Usually, this kind of thing doesn't play in 60-card formats. That being said, it is now in the format with Cavern of Souls, and it only costs 8. So I could see maybe building around this card. It is triggered also on EDB, not on cast, so you can like cheat it in some way. So kind of some cool things can happen here. I think this is mostly going to be a casual card, but still a pretty fun one. Is this the new Great Henge? The Skull Spore Nexus. 8 mana for a legendary artifact. Costs X less to cast, where X is the greatest power among creatures you control. Kind of similar to the Great Henge, right? And then whenever one or more non-token creatures you control dies, make a green fungus dinosaur token with base power and toughness equal to the total power of those creatures. And then 2 mana to double target creature's power at end of turn. So instead of giving you a bunch of cards, this gives you a bunch of extra power and insurance when your creatures die. That being said, that's kind of a lot worse than the Great Henge would be. Kind of interesting if you are using this against as a kind of wrath insurance in your Stompy deck. The problem is in Standard, all the good rats exile. And honestly, a lot of the best rats in the past few years exile anyway. Sunfall, Farewell. So probably kind of a cool Commander card, but not going to see much 60 card play. Oger Axnil, Deepest Might. We have a new God Flip creature. Flip cards are back. 4 mana for a 4/4 trample. For a red source you control, will deal an amount of non-combat damage less than Orger's power to an opponent. That source deals damage equal to that power instead. So if you would Lava Dart someone for 1, it would deal the damage for the power, so 4. So kind of a cool effect, although there aren't that many like cheap small damage effects, and it's any non-combat damage, so like a ping effect would be kind of cool also. So pretty reasonable effect, honestly. Whenever it dies, return to the battlefield tapped and transform it on its owner's control. Flip it. What do we see? We see a land. Cool. So this is a big part of old Ixalan with cards like Search for Azcanta, where there were cards that turned into lands. A lot of them are very powerful, and it turns it into Temple of Power, which is a land taps for red. Pay 3, transform it. Activate only if red sources you control dealt 4 more damage this turn, and only as a sorcery. So it can flip back into the creature, although it takes a lot, honestly. 4 or more non-combat damage is pretty tough, but kind of a cool card. I don't think it's quite there constructed, but pretty sweet. So, a little taste of Lost Caverns of Ixalan coming soon. It's also like Jurassic Park, Secret Layers and stuff too. We'll get to that as well, I suppose. But important dates coming up. Previews begin October 24th, which means my set review will probably be 1 week after that. So probably at the very, very end of October, you'll see my set review. We got the Early Access 10 New Brews event, going to be on November 9th, which is super exciting. And the set will officially release on Arena on the 14th, meaning Bronze Mythic will start pretty soon after that, which is exciting. So we got Bronze Mythic, 10 New Brews, the set release as always. Like, comment, subscribe, hit all the buttons, do all the things. Thanks so much, appreciate it. I'll see you soon.